Happy Tuesday, Maverick Traders. This is Rob Reinhold. It is Tuesday, August 12th. Let's jump into it. In this session, we're going to go through the news of the day. We had a big CPI report. We're going to go see what is trending right now, and crypto is running.
All trades and analysis in this video are intended for professional traders only. This content does not constitute financial advice and is for educational purposes. This video is being released after a short delay due to Compliance Department review. Maverick members receive this content immediately as part of their daily trading resources. If you're ready to level up, consider joining Maverick Currencies. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits. You bring the skill, we provide the backing. Let's get into today's market recap and see how the pros are trading the currency markets.
All right, well, let's start off with the numbers first and the news of the day. We had two big news events. The first off is we had the RBA cut rates as expected. So not a big deal, but then they downgraded economic growth. So what they're saying is the economy is likely to get weaker in the future, which means we're likely to keep rates where they are or even lower. Not a great thing for the Aussie. The Aussie didn't fall today. It was basically flat, but definitely not a lot of confidence for the Australian economy. We then got the big news of the week. The US CPI came in as expected. The core rate was plus 0.3%. The headline rate was plus 0.2%, but the year-over-year number came in slightly lower at 2.7%. And you know what? Equities really liked that number. The rest of the markets really shrugged it off. It came in as expected, but equities have been on such a run lately, and we are in a seasonal part of the year where there's not a lot of participation. Mid-August, people are going back to school, people are on vacation. This is very typical for an August for there to be very few sellers out there, so any amount of buying is just going to keep moving this higher. I see this going on for another week or two, and I know I've got people saying, Rob, it's already gone up so much, it can't go up more. Rob, this is a bubble. Well, guess what? You're right on one of those two. You're right that this is a bubble. This is a bubble, and the bubble's growing. But what you're wrong with is this can't get any bigger. I have seen several bubbles in my trading lifetime. I tried to short the first one, got killed. I doubted the second one and watched it run without me for about a year until it finally popped, and then I felt smug thinking, oh, aren't I smart? No, I'm an idiot, because how much money did I leave on the table? And I told myself after those first two, I said, you need to learn how to jump on these bubbles and make a lot of money, because this is where you can make a ton of money in trading. So yes, it's a bubble. Yes, it's crazy. Yes, it doesn't make any sense, but you should absolutely be long right now. When it pops, we are smart enough to know when things pop. We are smart enough. We'll make adjustments then, but for right now, everything is super bullish. Now, that doesn't mean a whole lot in currencies because the typical S&P correlations have been broken for a while and not really applicable all year long. The Aussie and Kiwi have been absolute garbage all year, especially over the last 2 months where the market has run. The Aussie Kiwi have been overall weak. Because of that, it's really hard to see where the leadership has been, but it's been in the euro and Swiss franc. This has been a consistent, good trade for the last couple of months. Now look, this doesn't fit the tech books of what should happen when equities are hitting all-time highs. You should not be seeing the Swiss franc hitting new highs. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but guess what? Sometimes these correlations break down and we just have to trade the market in front of us. We liked the yen short this week. You can see the yen was down a little bit, but the yen has been weak. The worst currency was the CAD. I have no idea why, but the CAD decided that it was going to be paired up with the dollar and pretty much go down with the dollar. This is what the story has been. Strong euro, strong Swiss franc, and weak yen and a dollar that's flip-flopping around. And the rest of the currencies have been virtually untradeable. I'm sorry to say that's going to continue. I mean, this is just where we are. Trade the market in front of us. This is what we're getting here. We got the S&P up 1.1%. Crypto, big run today. Gold flat, oil down. And in the cryptos, we're really seeing the runs in the secondary and tertiary cryptos, where it's the same thing that's happening in the stock market. The Microsofts, Googles, the Metas, they've already run. They've already had big runs. They're still going up, but they're just not going up at the same pace. What's happening is people are now looking at all the other plays that they think, oh, might be the next Google, might be the next Microsoft. And they're throwing money at very speculative names. We're seeing the same thing in crypto. Not that any of these cryptos here are speculative. We're not talking about Dogecoin or any of the other crazy ones. But you can see the old, safe, stable one, Bitcoin, up 1.3%. The rest getting more of a bid today. And that's just where we are in this market. You likely see less quality names do better than quality names in this part of the bull market. So I continue to like those cryptos as well. All right, let's take a look at where we are. We're at a +3, no question about it. We're now back to new all-time highs. Moving averages are slipping back higher. This is just a bull market, a raging bull market. What do we have on the schedule coming up? We got Australian price index for wages coming up. Again, this doesn't matter. We just heard from the RBA. They said, you know what, we're not looking to raise interest rates. So if this thing comes out stronger than expected, it might bump the Aussie up a bit, but it's not going to help it. If this comes out weaker than expected, it's a signal that, oh my goodness, the RBA might be cutting more aggressively. I just don't see any positive things that could possibly come out of this number for the Aussie. I just see neutral or sideways. And then we get employment change as well. Same thing here. So really the only news we get is Aussie. And frankly, I don't see this making the Aussie jump. If these numbers come out weaker than expected, I could absolutely see the Aussie slide on these. And then Thursday, we got US PPI, but that is far away in the world of trading. So let's jump into the charts. I'm not going to spend any time on like the Kiwi, the pound. I really want to spend my time on the tradable things, the things that are actually tradable. So here we have the yen, and we talked about, we love this big spike up in the yen that happened last week. And we said, oh, this is a great little shorting opportunity. It's been a shorting opportunity, but take a look at this. I mean, these are not big candles. We've got some, upper wicks here where it has been running and then falling apart. So I like the yen, but I like the yen on these runs. So I don't want to get short the yen down at the bottom of these things. I want to let it bounce up again. And you can see we're getting a little bounce here. Let's let this thing come up a little higher before we look for a short. But that's really where we want to be on yen. Dollar has been back and forth. You take a look at the daily chart here, and you can see we have basically flatlined for the week. I don't like dollar at all, long or short, but if we break, if we get some more weakness here, then I think you can look at dollar short. But for right here, right now, I'm not looking dollar short. Euro, Swiss franc. Swiss franc has been weak. Let's take a look at it on a daily chart. You can see on a daily chart, we're now in a little bit of a downtrend. So I don't love Swiss franc long because of this daily chart. I mean, yes, we get 2-day bounces, 1-day bounce here. This might be all that it is before it fizzles out. But we come over here to the euro. The euro is a different story. This daily chart looks great. Yes, we had this big sell-off. It recovered, so people rush back into the euro, and now we're holding up here at this resistance level. I think euro is the best looking currency on the long side. Pound, same thing. It's been more of a downtrend. Yes, it's been stronger lately with big, nice green candles. But again, I still prefer euro over it, so I'm going to focus on euro. The CAD has been weak and looks weak. Here's a daily chart. You can see here, we're starting to get to a point where there might be some serious breakdowns. If it breaks below this line here, then we're going to go down to this line here. Again, just like the dollar, if it can break a little lower, I like it short. But until that happens, I just don't like it. Here's Aussie, and you can see Aussie on the daily has come up and it's hitting this resistance. I don't think it's a great short. I don't think it's a great long. I'm really just looking to ignore it altogether. Same with the Kiwi. I mean, look at these last 4 days. closed exactly where it opened, but had all this volatility that's just going to make you frustrated and stop you out. No thanks. I'll just go elsewhere. When it comes to the cryptos, I think this is where you want to be. Bitcoin Cash is running. Ethereum is running. Everything right now is running at the moment. And we all know how this game works. They're going to keep running until they stop. And nobody knows where that is. What I do want to look at is see which one of these has the most potential to run. And looking at Litecoin here, we've got Litecoin that is really been basing for 2 weeks here and breaking out of the top of that range. Ethereum is a little bit further along where we had been, basing here. We're already quite a ways away. I mean, that is 15% away from the breakout. We have Bitcoin Cash that is also a little bit further away. So when we take a look at cryptos, they're all running, they all look great, but which one has some momentum? I actually like Litecoin the best here, just because it is breaking out. It's the most recent breakout. Where can this thing go? 136, 140, I think is a possibility. There's going to be nothing on the chart for us to go back and really see. I guess we're going to have some overhead resistance here at 140 that we've had historically. But this is really where the market is trending hard right now, is crypto. If you're looking in Forex, it's euro. I mean, you're really stuck with euro against yen, against dollar, against CAD, and against Aussie and Kiwi. That's just where you're stuck, and those candles aren't very big. Here they are racked and stacked, and you can see Swiss franc is right now the strongest. I don't love that one just because it's in a little bit of a downtrend on the daily. So really, cryptos and euro against yen, number one, and then against CAD and dollar if they get a little bit weaker. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those charts. We already took a look at Litecoin. Let's take a look at euro yen. All right, let's go ahead and start off with the daily chart. You can see we had this big run up. We had a pullback. We had this run, and look, we're on a daily chart. We've got this bull pullback. We've got the EMA now turning up. We're broke through the parabolic SAR. We're above 50 on the RSI and rising. Everything looks good on a daily chart. Everything looks okay on a 4-hour chart. Here's the nice thing. We broke out of resistance and then we held it. That's a really great little pattern here. You break out, it gets a little tighter, but it holds this, consolidates for the next run higher. The only problem I see here is look at these candles. These candles are not very big. So if you are going to get into this trade, understand it's going to be a slower mover, but I don't see any reason why we can't get up into the 173.50 to 174 area. I think that for a very reasonable target. It's a Tuesday. If you're looking to not hold over a weekend, that gives you 3.5 full days on this trade. I think it looks decent here, euro yen to the long side. When or if the dollar and CAD tank, then I also like euro against CAD. Euro against CAD looks good. Again, we ran up, putting in a little base up here. We just broke out of this 160.50. So we're putting in a little base here. This one looks good as well, but I do like euro yen a little bit better. Let's wrap this up. We got the cryptos running. They all look good. I mean, even Bitcoin, if you want to buy it, just understand it's going to be a much slower mover, but it still looks okay. Forex, look, we don't have any really strong currencies, and we have some really weak currencies. We want to pair up really strong currencies against really weak currencies. And at this point, we can pair up some sort of strong currencies against some weak currencies. And that's about the best we can do. So make sure you're always playing relative strength and weakness and manage your risk and your position size. Goodbye, everyone.